I had a secret clearance with nuclear surety. I could get the clearance that I needed to do whatever it was that was necessary for me to do at the time on special operations when I was called in on those. What I'm referring to here is that I was involved in situations where we actually did recoveries of crashed saucers, for lack of a better term, debris thereof. There were bodies that were involved with some of these crashes, also some were alive. While we were doing all this, we were telling the American public there was nothing to it. We were telling the world there was nothing to it. But the whole situation is, we've set back, we've told the American people that there's no such thing as UFOs.
You told us you traveled, thousands of light years to get here. Yes. Tell us the truth or the word will never leave you. It is true. I fall off. Fall off usual. To travel is hard. To travel is fast. All such behavior.
I was at the White House with my family, and we were getting a tour, and Barack and Michelle and Sasha and Malia.
Nice.
And it's me and Jada and the kids, and we're walking through the White House. And the night before, Jaden had said to me, "Dad, I got to ask the president about the aliens, I was like, dude, no, it's not cool. No, Barack is talking about this situation wrong. And Jaden says, excuse me, Mr. President. And I was like, hey, Barack, man, hey, listen, Jaden. And Barack said, don't tell me. And in perfect form, like, this is why he's the president, he stopped and looked at Jaden and said, the aliens, right? And I was like, oh, shoot. And he said, okay, I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of extraterrestrials.
This amazing footage was discovered by Scott C. Waring and posted to his blog UFO Sightings Daily. The video shows a large crowd of people recording a UFO flying over Guangzhou in China. In the video, a man and woman in a car come to a stop as they are heard saying it's a UFO in Chinese. The woman then says to get out and to record it.
I've been involved where we have recovered these objects. We know them to be of extraterrestrials. In 1969, I had an event that happened to me while I was stationed at Fort Lee, Virginia. We went to Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania. That would be my first exposure to any time that we would be recovering an unidentified flying object. Later on, most people involved were to be told that there was nothing on board it. It was nothing more than just a crash of one of our aircraft. I know better because I was one of the people that approached it with a Geiger counter to get surface readings. I was the first person to go ahead and see that there were bodies on it. That would be the first of approximately 12 events. UFO crashes are not events that take place every day. They're rare.
So I take it aliens took over our future, right? So you're human. Okay, so you evolved from us. So what are you doing here now? How?
The disclosure legacy, the president that makes, the first head of state that makes the announcement that the extraterrestrial presence is real is one of the greatest political legacies of all time. I don't care who you are, period. Right? You go down in history. For 1,000 years it'll be talked about. Right? That's the most profound event in human history, and you are the head of state that let it out, the one that brought the truth to the world. That legacy, that is a very desirable legacy, and they want it.
Wait, so you know the meaning of what? What's the difference? So you know how the universe is created? So you think God?
I know we're not alone in the universe. I know that the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. It's evidence that has been denied to the American people.
What do you call the great legacy? Nobel Prize, first black president.
Chump change. Chump change. First black president, how many black heads of state have there been before Obama entered the White House, right? His legacy as the first black president was over the moment he lifted his hand off the Bible at the inauguration, right? It's chump change. As far as some of the other stuff, nothing serious at all. This legacy is massive, right? And I assure you, it is incredibly desirable.
All right, guys. We're live, Third Phase Moon. Welcome back, everybody. Monday night special radio show, taking your calls from around the world. And you know what? There's some weird things. I'm going to put a link into the chat line right now. I want everybody to take a look at this photograph coming in off stills. Yeah, this is going to be the first time I'm going to be sharing links on our radio show so everybody could look at this in real time with us. And take a look at this photograph. Apparently, this was submitted to us via our Facebook, and this was coming in while people were waiting for Clinton to give her last speech. This is right before the election results. This is a few days late, but man, this image is blowing me away. They're coming in from different television sources. So whatever we're looking at right now are coming in from two different networks. The submitter wants to know, do you know what this is? Anybody have any idea? That's it's weird because what I'm looking at, it almost looks like the Grim Reaper is right there, standing in the middle of the press room. The media is there. They seem oblivious to whatever this thing is. If anybody could capture video of this event, Clinton's last speech right before the campaign, I want to see if we could narrow down whatever this anomaly, this creepy, scary thing is right in the middle of the press room. Wow, this is pretty interesting and spooky to me. I want to get your people's thoughts below in the comments because I want to share this to you right now at Third Phase Moon.
It's like I don't know, like an object right at the bottom of the moon from where I was standing. But like I said, it didn't come out in the picture, and that wasn't why I was calling. You just happened to mention that. Gotcha.
All right, so right on. You're from Pennsylvania. So What compelled you to call in tonight? What do you want to share with the world tonight?
Well, I was listening last week, and somebody talked about a blue flame. And I've seen a lot of things in my whole life. I'm 59 years old. 35 years of my life was spent in Phoenix, where I've seen a majority of objects and experiences with visitations. When I was younger, I was laying in bed. This was in like 1979. And all of a sudden I woke up, and there were two figures at the foot of my bed. And they were in hoods, and they were humanoid, and one was looking at the other one to the right, and my whole room was lit up, and this being that was on my right was looking right at me, and he was glowing bright blue, and he had a beard, and I like shot up in my bed, like, what the hell? And then he raised his hand, and I just melted back in my bed, which I was all warm all over, and it was really a beautiful feeling. And then when I woke up hours later, I was like scouring the floor for evidence, you know what I mean? Story doesn't end there, because like about 4 years later, I was reading a book. It was called Incident at Allagash. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book. But it was a UFO experience with some fishermen. And they were abducted, you know, through hypnosis. They found this out. And they said, why? And I told them, and, you know, they thought I was crazy. And ironically, like about 2 weeks before that, they were walking into their yard, into their gate by their yard, and there was a person with them. And later on, I asked, who was over at your house? Was that your son? And they said, there was nobody there. And I said, no, there was a guy right behind you. And they said, no, there was nobody there. I've got a million stories, and I was going to write a book, you know, about it. And I've reported to MUFON like about 4 times. And I got to the point, I'm like, they're going to say, this guy's nuts, or why does he keep doing this, you know?
Wow, you know, Glenn,
and it was on a Black Friday.
Well, there you go. There was a confirmation. There was 11 other reports. So whatever happened, whatever you witnessed is you weren't alone witnessing this, and it sounds quite amazing, whatever it was. Well, Glenn, I appreciate you calling in, and keep in touch with Third Phase Moon. I got a feeling you're going to be having more experiences. This is how these things roll. Usually, once you see something, you experience something.
A few since then,
Illuminate us. What happens when we die? So, let me get this straight. There's no death, and we all experience each other's lives, right?
However, because you have just triggered the most profound event in human history, more profound than the coming of Christ. Supposedly, God sent his only son down to the earth, right, to bring a message to the people. And he comes down, and over a very long period of time, he sort of, actually a couple of years, he does his teachings. He gets crucified, and that sort of launches the Christian religion, which takes hundreds of years to develop and start affecting worldview. That was the Christ event, which has almost 2.2 billion followers. This event will affect thousands of times more people and do it in days. All right? In other words, the worldview of humans will be affected worldwide within a week because this event is that powerful. So it's much bigger than the Christ event. So if you think being Jesus Christ was a big deal, being the disclosure president, a big...
Give us information to the young people of the world in this country. They want to hear it. They want it. Give it to them. Don't hide it and tell lies and make stories. They're not stupid. They deserve it. It's their information. It doesn't belong to the Army or the Department of Defense. It's theirs. If it's classified, take the classification off and give it to them.
So, how was the universe created, and why is it so perfectly made for us?
Why don't we see more videos of it? Because it takes a brave person to post something unknown on the internet that might get you and your family arrested in China, since the Chinese government probably considers such videos to be top secret and a threat to their national security.
So, why do we destroy ourselves with nuclear war? Can you be more specific, please? What about morality? What do you base your morality on? I see.
It's finally out, and it's just going to keep spreading. And so this idea that you can pretend that you never were involved in it and those documents don't exist, it's over. It's simply how long can you continue to do your thing before you finally have to answer the door? And what I'm trying to say is that they're about to answer the door.
Listen, here's the deal.
Aliens.
I know. I have the top secret information. I just can't share it. You don't think I've made all of these movies and not been briefed by the White House?
It makes sense now.
Of course. I know. I just can't tell you.